Live. Okay. So, got control software. First thing I need to do before the print is I have to level the bed. Oh, actually, I'll put this back in for a moment. I've got to make sure the build plate is exactly at the level of the vat. So, without crushing the vat, that's the scary part. I'll loosen the ball bearings some. I'll loosen this guy here a little bit.
Oh, I see.
And I'll roughly level this guy, as everything is level. Okay, and then we'll get Z home. Well, that's some serious resonance.
This thing comes in badly.
I'm gonna tighten down these nuts. Okay, everything seems good. The build plate. Tap it down the ball. Should be a little bit of suction when I pull up. Okay, level. Since I zeroed it in before, this is not super hard since I roughly trust the Z home that I have set. But there's no end stop. So if I had the home set wrong, or when I first got the printer, if I told it to go from here and tell it to go 10 millimeters down, it'll just do it, and it'll crash into the linear stage, and it'll crush the box, and do all kinds of bad stuff. Okay, now we have to set up to print. So there's this other program called Creation Workshop that you actually use to lay out the models. And what I got to do is File, Load Model. I want this calibration 3 DLP. Yay, 249 layers found. So supposedly this program was kind of buggy, and I couldn't get the multiple layers to work. And someone in a forum said you have to control the layer settings in a particular order. So what you can do is you can set different exposure times and lifting speeds or whatever for various layers. But when I tried it, I hit plus and created all the layers that I wanted, and I tried to jiggle with the numbers, and they said that didn't work. What you have to do is you have to first adjust the layer you have. So from layer 1 to layer 2, I want a nice big exposure, like 15-second exposure. I want to go up real slowly so I don't pull up too hard on the bed. So I'll go up at like 10 millimeters per minute. And then I don't know whether this logic is inclusive or exclusive. Let's try this. Ah, see, it automatically put 3 in there. That's a good sign that maybe this will work this time. And then from layer 3 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll expose at 10. And I'll pull up a little bit faster. And 20. And then from layers 8 to 15. Start exposing at 5 seconds. These 5 seconds worked okay last night. I'll pull up a little faster. At 25. 20. 2 millimeters. And then for the rest, I'll do 5-second exposures that worked yesterday, and then I'll pull up at the full speed. Okay. And so this should be set. All I need to do is hit run. But then there's a bunch of weird steps I need to do. The first thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to power on the projector. And then this is funky. Because the door is open here, and I have this blocking plate on here to block the light, which you're supposed to do because the light will keep shining out and might cure the resin prematurely. So I've got to block that. Some other DLP projector-based systems have like a shutter, but I don't have there's no shutter in here, it's manual. And that means I always have to start printing with this door open, because it's the only way to reach this. So it says, oh, take the left door off in the instructions, and then once you start printing, put the left door back on. Okay, so now I need to fill the vat with resin and then pop the lid on. Level out. This is the resin I was using yesterday. Hopefully this is enough. Since this resin has actually seen quite a bit of light, it might end up curing extra fast. It might have varying properties. They actually recommend that you always do 50-50 fresh and used resin. But I think I poured too much resin into the vat yesterday. So I have a lot of resin in the used container. Okay. So resin is in the vat, and I put the light shield on. Okay. So, light shield is on. Then in theory, I hit run and hopefully don't get any weird errors. Now, okay. Right. So I'm printing like a right angle calibration cube and a pyramid. Right now I'm supposed to put this side panel back on.
You started?
Yeah.
Okay. There it goes. Maybe put a door on that or something. It's always very mysterious as to whether or not you get anything.
Yes, I might not get anything. Oh no! It doesn't Z0 by itself! That's so lame! When I hit run, it wasn't at the Z home.
You got it worked?
Hmm. Let's try this again. My bottom layers may be really messed up now.
Yeah.
Alright, learn something new. When you have to Z0 before you hit run, since it doesn't zero as part of the run. So I was printing up in the middle of nowhere. I probably should have cleaned the bits out of the bed before doing that. I'm betting there was solidified resin at the bottom of that.
How many layers do you have?
254.
Yeah, it'd work before you go too far.
Yeah, these first layers are kind of like with the filament printer, except you can't easily tell what's going on in the vat. Well, considering I only needed 5-second layers yesterday, this may be extra conservative, but we'll see. Layer 19, we're starting the faster layers now.
Did you reset?
What?
Did you reset?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll find out anything, I guess.
You open the lid. We'll see what happens.
We've got plenty of resin, so I can keep it.
I see. The plate is under resin, pushes the resin layer up. But once the plate is out of the resin level will drop by a lot.
Hmm.
It should still continue to build so long as my layer height is only 0.1 millimeters. So long as there's more than that amount of resin in the vat, it should keep building.
Yeah.
Well, I can almost see whether or not there's something attached to the build plate. But not quite. Oh, I have the scale off. Okay. I adjusted my focus today so that it would be on target, but I have the adjustment here still set to yesterday's size. So the size is going to be off.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be bigger. And that also means that the projected image is less intense than yesterday's. Five seconds may not be enough.
Well, it should be okay. I mean, like, theoretically, 2 seconds is good enough, right?
I only adjusted the focus a little bit just to get it so that the end-to-end was 19.2 millimeters.
Oh, I see.
The way it's supposed to get exactly the XY resolution of 0.1 millimeters. But I can't quite see whether there's anything there. All right, now I need to. Meantime, I'll use the batch at 70% isopropyl alcohol. Oh, okay. 945 milliliters of alcohol plus 405 water. Nice. Well, actually, now that I emptied out this alcohol bottle, I have a big HDPE container.
Okay. That works.
Although it has an annoyingly narrow mouth, I need to use that funnel then. Alright. This container is not watertight. That's disappointing. Gareth, this supposedly gasket is ineffective. Well, this may be a problem. This container for storing the alcohol bath will be a dud. It leaks. Oh yeah, there's a leaks. That means alcohol is going to escape from this. Grr. Made in New Zealand. Well, made in New Zealand. But this gasket is useless. Oh, let's see if I can see. No, not yet. The surface tension still pulls up a meniscus that blocks my view. You can see the meniscus now in the camera. I can't tell whether there's anything there. On an intermediate size item like this, I think the filament printer would be faster.
Right. Well, you do have the ability to like do a lot more detailed stuff here than you would otherwise.
Yeah, because I mean, this would take the same amount of time no matter how much I filled up the bed. But I only have a couple of small objects here. So like small but tall objects are going to take a long time, a disproportionately long time. Nope. No, we're screwed.
Nothing in the bottom?
There. Oh yeah, lesson learned. There's nothing there. There's probably a huge blob in the vat now.
Like a red laser that can maybe shoot through it without like interfering with the without causing a reaction or something.
Hard to say because the resin is the same color as the part. So whatever the pigmentation is in there, it's all going to be solid. Until it releases, it's hard to tell. Although I can try now. There's a new cleanup method.
Okay. Let's see. What options do you have there? You can also try.
All right. Tip. Supposed to be able to try to tip the build plate to let the resin run off. Oh, I still need to raise this more. I gotta get the spatula underneath. Where is the stupid spatula? Okay, time to clean up and then try again. Clean up.
The interns are for.
What?
What the interns are for.
Yes. Okay. Oh, drip some resin. Alright, where is a piece of cardboard? Now I gotta open the side of the printer. Get away. Turn off the projector. Put the protective thing on here. Unscrew that retaining bar. Take that out. Alright, then get need to get the resin in the vat back into the bottle, out in the solid particles. Alternating the corners that you pour from so the chemical doesn't wear out any one corner prematurely. Whoops. I made a mess. This vat is very unergonomic. Very difficult to hold onto it to completely pour out. Alright, and then cannot touch the bottom of the vat because it is extremely delicate. And then I made a mess. Accidentally formed a vacuum with the funnel, so resin leaked out the sides. Now the bottle is really, really slippery. Now, arg. Interesting, so there are some parts here. This part is about what it was supposed to be, except it's stuck to the bottom of the vat. This part too. Alright. Put this stuff in the sink, and then that is so tricky and delicate because it only has 3 solid sides. The 2 short walls and the floor are solid. The long sides is actually a film that's like bonded on, so it's weak. Right. This stuff goes in alcohol bath. We'll see. Where is my microfiber towel? Here. All right. Okay. Now we can try again. Level. Okay, let's level.
Time to invest in some thumb screws.
What?
Time to invest in some thumb screws for that.
No, we'll see. It's not that hard.
Seems fair anyway.
And it's easier to get leverage this way.
Okay.
I'm actually, well, perhaps the easiest thing would be to upgrade initially would be to add a shutter. So I wouldn't have to do this stupid thing with the
Right.
random sheets. Because this board they use can accommodate like 5 stepper drivers. It's intended for a filament 3D printer, of which they're only using one because there's only a Z stage. Um, all right, that was a pretty good vacuum. Okay. Try again. My resin. Alright, pour in the resin. And this resin may be reaching the end of its life. Could have sworn I saw a lump come out. Okay.
Zero your head.
Yes, and this time, know that I have to zero it myself. Alright.
Just split that funky shape.
Yes, this lid actually, the interesting thing about this is it would just about clear to allow me to build something like this, which somebody on the forums had suggested.
Mm-hmm.
And this seems like it would be a good idea, except that this tilting mechanism wouldn't work if the bed were actually raised, which you need to do to get the part out. So if this thing is 80 millimeters up, and there's a part sticking onto it, I can't lower it back down to 10 millimeters because that would crush the part I just made. And then I would still have to lift the whole thing off. I wouldn't be able to tilt it back. So
I guess the algorithm.
like I was saying, I don't know the practicality of trying to permanently attach it through the hinge, because the mechanics. I mean, maybe if you built it really big, had a gigantic hood, then it could clear even when the build plate was all the way at the top.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would be worth it. You have to probably have to redesign the box itself.
But
Or you
I
have
guess
some kind of complicated hinge system with the whole thing. All of these are hinged and you can flip them back.
Yeah. Because imagine like the angled shape makes it easier to lift as opposed to like if you're finishing having really like slippery hands or something.
Yeah.
Then you have like gravity helping you out, or yeah, like as opposed to like a straight up and down one.
Okay.
I don't know if they consider that.
Sure that when we do calibrate. Okay. That seems to be working. Print. Let me fix the dimensions here, which I accidentally have 194. This is back to 192. Now I can run. Put oh. Or bending is a little odd.
What? What's up?
Really strongly pulls up the build plate.
Right, if I want to make sure it doesn't get stuck to the reformed resin.
Yeah. Wonder.
Raise it a bunch and lower it a little bit, right? Back to the proper amount.
You can see that when it goes up, it pulls the vat up from the suction. And then the vat goes down a little bit when it gets too much tension for it to hold on, and then the suction releases and the thing goes down. I wonder if that pull-up is a good sign, if it means that we actually have positive adhesion on both sides, both on the bottom and on the top.
That's a good point. Yeah, it should be. It's got to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't move.
There's got to be something there, especially now that it's layer 25, so it's 2.5 millimeters up. There's got to be something solid there that's holding both sides. And in theory, since the vat is the one that's made out of 7 layers of weird different polymers topped with a layer of Teflon, that when it's releasing, it should be the bottom that slides off and not the top.
Right.
almost at the point where we could actually see something. There does seem to be an object in there. Shape is indistinct, though. But something is wrong. I think only one of the two objects on this plate are being adhered properly at the base. Only the flat one did. I think the pyramid may have gotten stuck. I may also have needed to give the pyramid a big stable support area. Yeah, because something's not right. I can see the light coming through. There seems to be some minimum surface area needed, so the wide part came up. But the pyramid, which I thought was big enough, I guess was not. Yeah. This isn't work. This is. Yeah. Only one of the two pieces came out. Control. Power off the projector. Take this. The side panel off.
It's very annoying.
Take the side panel off.
Better time.
Lower protector on. The lens. Lift this thing off. Yeah, there's certainly this thing's a lot messier because it deals with liquids.
Right.
The presence of the liquid makes the whole thing a lot messier
Have a suction system.
than with filament.
Get a suction and dispensing system to like just
Yeah, and
suction out the liquid. And
a recirculating pump system would be complicated. You would have to. Already I reuse this resin. This resin's on its third print without having been mixed with any fresh resin. Whoops. I scraped the part off accidentally. I forgot it was there. Now it's in the vat. This supported area at the bottom needs to be real wide. Big base needed. I need another container to carry around this vat in. It's not too big. If it's going to get resinous, I'll have to clean it too. And that's full of TSP. And the box that it came in. That's good enough for now. Clean up. Let's see. Setting resin pouring action. Now I gotta try to use this corner. Maybe I don't need to wash out the vat if I'm going to print again right away.
That's reasonable. Or at least, like, for some of these early test prints, you can at least see what happens if you don't.
Yes. Well, there's going to be like a 10-minute delay while I go and adjust the scene. So I'll have to put this in and probably under the lid. There are more bits now. This resin is getting old.
If you use, like, with the resin cure, can you just dispose of it as it is, or like you can do that regardless?
If I had large amounts, you're best advised to let it cure first and then throw it away. For large amounts. This stuff doesn't mix with water, so it floats to the top, but you wouldn't say that it's good for the environment. So you want to minimize the amount that goes down the drain. So if I were, for instance, if this resin became unusable, I wouldn't just pour it down the drain. You would put it into a Ziploc bag, throw it outside until it's solidified. Then it's a lot less reactive. Once it's been hit with a bunch of UV, and then you can and then you just throw that away. Mm-hmm. Once it's reacted, then it's not as serious. Total mess. I will back. Yeah. Put the lid on. And then put the side on also. Intermediate pots. Alcohol there. might go to another table. control over the support. Slice, slice. Alright, almost done. Just gotta zip this up and I can print again without cleaning up. Okay. Ah. That was strangely sticky. And 64 layers. Okay. Then we have to do the settings. So let's go 0 to Alright. Take the side lid off. turn the projector on. Pour resin in the vat. Pour resin in the vat.
Here's one thought is that a shutter system would need to be like a sliding tray sort of thing.
Pour resin in the vat. Put the light shield on. The light shield back on. Alright. And then go to Z home. Okay. Then make sure that and then we release the light, run, then prevent side light from getting in by closing this thing. Extra long first layer. Maybe want the lift on the first layers also to be bigger to make sure that it pulls off the bottom.
What shape are you printing now?
I'm printing just that, just the, it's a 5 mm calibration pyramid. So it's a
Okay.
stepped right angle pyramid.
5 mm? Okay.
Yes, the bottom of the bed. That is has to be a complicated thing. It's got to be very, very slick, not sticky, but clear and resistant to all these chemicals. There still seems to be some bed adhesion. The bed's still jumping a little bit every time it raises up. So I have higher hopes that this one may work. Oh, there's some chat. Oh, that's just you.
Oh, I would. Yeah. Is something at the bottom now?
Maybe at the next lift. Yeah, there's something there.
Okay.
Whether it's still attached all the way through, don't know.
How big is it supposed to be?
Well, it should be. It's something should be going all the way through because I'm still seeing the that jerk every time it goes up.
Mhm. How big is it supposed to be? Or how tall?
25, 10, 26 millimeters, so like
Okay.
2 centimeters.
Combination.
But I'm also printing this using an SLA printing trick to prevent the object from sticking too strongly by tilting it like like 10 degrees, and then putting a bunch of supports in.
Okay.
So we'll see what that looks like when it comes out. Something weird happened to this broken print. I'm not sure what happened.
So how many images to go?
Well, I could see it. So like, I'm not quite sure how that happened. Like this is the bottom.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it fell off because it clearly has some.
It fell off and then like it relaminated and like it shifted. It's like
Yeah.
pulling up, and then because there's a tilt to it, it's like it pulled up. It broke off on both sides. It shifted a little, and then the resin froze again, and then it became like this.
They're pretty decent sharp. That's a decently sharp edge on that. I guess is this
Yeah.
resolution is pretty decent. I mean, like it's like not round overly rounded or anything.
Yeah, it should be. I'll have to check exactly where I'm printing it. Maybe I'm printing the bad part instead of the good part. The left side here of the projector is way fuzzier
Mm-hmm.
than the right side. And I think I forgot the flip, so I'm laying them out in the bad quadrant instead of the good. It has some oddities, like this part here is like bowed slightly. And this one I need to measure. I'm not sure which one is which. Measure it with calipers to see if I have
Your scale right.
where are my calipers? Well, this one warped a bit. I guess this resin has some warpage.
Mm.
For the least warp, they recommend that you do the alcohol soak and the UV finishing with the object still attached to the build plate.
Okay.
So you take the whole build plate off, and you soak the whole thing. Well, I guess not the ball, because the ball has a lubrication in there. You don't want that to go in the alcohol. But it's a little small. I guess these dimensions. Yeah, there's some warping. This 40 by 20 by 20, where's the... Find that. Put that in the Hangout. Yeah. That seems a little better. Messing with the exposure and the gain.
Mhm.
Gotta optimize. Since I'm on a tripod, I guess I don't not too worried about the exposure being too big. Something should be visible down there. Huh. This resin may have gotten old. That thing seems overexposed.
Which what looks overexposed?
The piece seems overexposed. It seems
Oh.
kind of blobby.
Okay.
Probably can't see it from that angle.
Yeah, I can't really see from yet. Just gotta wait.
I was looking for the specs on the L part that I printed. Use the showcase feature. Showcase. Add an item from the website. Shown items are now visible to your audience. So let's see, you should be able to see this item in the showcase now.
Oh, where would that be? Where's the showcase? The caption?
This the thing on the left that looks like tags.
I see it. Square, known distance calibration.
That's what this L part is supposed to be. So these two parts each have their own strange flaws. This guy there, you can see here, it doesn't have a flat square walls. It's like trapezoidal. It's like the exposure changed, and the lower ones are like fatter than the higher ones. And then this one here has fairly straight walls. Although to be honest, I can't remember which one is which.
If I'm watching it.
John joined. I will allow him to be shown in broadcast. Now he can talk. Hey, John.
And
Hey guys, what are you printing?
operation stuff.
Calibration object. I should put that in the showcase also.
Hmm.
Show item. You can go to the showcase and see the two items that I printed. So let's see. It's supposed to be what, 3 millimeters thick? Oh, it's bowed.
What's in the showcase
How do you
exactly?
switch to the showcase?
What? The showcase is the icon that looks like tags.
I mean, it looks like showcase looks like it's linked to into whatever the makerspace or
Yeah, I'm not
Thingiverse.
sure what's going on with the picture and why the picture is changing, but the link works.
But
The
the link I
pictures
see
seem to
looks
show a bunch of kind of random items.
square known distance calibration tool. Oh, there it is. No, wait, no.
Yes,
This,
because this guy here, this is a square known distance calibration tool.
right. But the link in showcase goes to like maker. It goes to Thingiverse. It doesn't show your thing, or is it supposed to show? What's it supposed to show?
It should go to Thingiverse to the page that represents that object.
Yes, that's what it's doing.
Okay, then that's correct. So, and then in the square known distance calibration tool, that page contains a diagram that has all the dimensions. So I can go and measure with the calipers. That looks wacky. So the length of this is not quite 40 millimeters. It's like 39.42 millimeters on one axis, 39.46 on the other axis. The one with straight walls. And then the small ends are slightly over, 20.1. And 19.9 for the other one. This guy, which has the trapezoidal wall. See how thick it is. It's only 2.4 millimeters thick. One long end is it's about 40. It's hard to say because the wall is a trapezoid. It's 40. The other is 39.9. Trapezoidal one is a bit better dimensions, at least on the widest part of the trapezoid. And then on the narrow end, 20.2. The other one is 20.1. Calibrating it any closer is going to be a challenge. It turns out to be pretty hard to set the zoom really precisely. So I have to turn that little zoom knob, and every time I turn the zoom knob, it needs to I have to adjust the focus again. And so it's hard for me to get, on the projector at least, an exact amount. But maybe through these measurements, I can get a little bit better in the tool or do it in software. Although it is a little weird that the X and Y are off, but maybe it's just because I'm printing in the bad zone of the printer.
How close is this to be finished?
63 layers left.
Yeah, what, 2 seconds a layer?
No, my exposure is 6 seconds a layer, plus the lift. So probably a total of 8, 10 seconds a layer.
Alright. Well, that's again.
You can kind of start to see the object. Maybe if I turn down the exposure on the camera, you might be able to see the outline of it since light flows through it.
Finally lift the shield.
Still. No, right.
That's what she's lovely.
Oh, now this makes my room look totally dark.
Oh, I can see stuff.
Yeah, so it looks kind of like it actually, you can see it. It does look like the pyramid that it's supposed
Yeah,
to
you
be.
can see the stuffy stuff.
It is interesting though that this camera has so many manual controls. I can control both the shutter speed and the gain separately.
Yeah. I think it's actually pretty common. You just have to get into some of the low-level USB stuff or something like that. Or the low-level parts of the USB camera protocol specifications and stuff.
Autofocus does not work well in this case. It focuses on the wrong thing.
Seems like it's probably very close to being done.
Two 48, 264. 16 layers left.
One more minute. good, actually. Hmm?
You guys probably can't see it that clearly.
And the light shines on it a little bit so you can see. It looks like pretty decent.
It's that right angle pyramid. It pretty much looks like the object it's supposed to be. See if it has the right dimensions. Oh.
So you gotta put it into your alcohol bath and stuff.
You
Right?
have to put in the alcohol bath. You gotta take this thing off. Oh, now the exposure is too much.
Blinding.
Yeah, it's blinding.
It doesn't seem that blocking, so I mean, well, the resin's probably on its last legs anyways, but
Yeah, it was an illusion because it was still in the vat. Actually, it seems fine. I'm gonna raise this thing.
Is it falling off the bed?
no, if you
No,
put it
I
at an angle.
popped it at a 10-degree angle so that the base that sticks firmly to the bed is separate from the part. Something that people do
Ah.
with SLA printers to make sure that they get the right amount of bed adhesion, but then not create this like suction force into the part. All right, let's see here.
You should try making like four of these at the same time.
Loosen this guy. Excuse me, and then we tilt. Tilt this.
So much resin.
Oh, I have resin all over my fingers now.
This process is so messy.
Yes, this.
The resin from the top or from the under layer? From the
What?
bottom? Is that resin from the top or from the bottom?
Both. There's resin on both the top and the bottom.
I'm surprised that there's so much surface tension that there'll be that much resin on the bottom sticking through it.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom you can see that it's forming tails. Let me just scrape this resin off.
So messy.
And of course, the vat is only just barely bigger than the build plate, so I have to be very careful when I'm scraping it off that I don't end up splashing resin out. Okay. Wipe this off for a bit. Move the tripod so you can see the.
Where's the alcohol bath?
Alright. That.
So the alcohol bath is to clean off uncured resin.
What was that?
The alcohol bath is to clean off the uncured resin.
Yeah. And because the bath will, again, it's a solvent and will have a chemical reaction, if say you want to keep it on the bed, since the adhesion to the bed will help it retain its dimensions. Oh, I'm just going to have to deal with the effect on the lubrication of that ball head. Okay, so let that soak for 2 minutes. And then drain resin.
You gotta keep this doing it next time, just so like all this things worthwhile.
What?
You gotta do something more interesting next time, so this all seems worthwhile.
Yes.
It seems like a lot of effort for like.
This is quite a lot of effort for setting up and tearing down. I have to. Well, first is that what's slowing me down a lot is that this room is really messy, and that the printer is placed in a really awkward space that divides this table in half. I need to put the printer all on one side of the table, but if I move the printer, I have to re-level everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully not by much. Hopefully this table is relatively not warped, but I do have to check it. So I didn't do that. And then I have to make this, if I made the space more ergonomic, and then I got some trays and stuff, so I wouldn't have to be so worried about splashes and stuff. I can do everything a little bit faster. I mean, right now, because it's basically table, and then I've got my carpet here. I have to be really, really careful. Because if this resin gets on my carpet, it's never getting out.
Well, minimum, I think like try doing like multiples of the objects.
Yeah, I can do multiple objects. I mean, I have to like get a whole thing ready. Then I have to know like which side do I have precision objects. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things I could do. I mean, I most likely, when I want to print my molds, I could probably print the whole set all at once. The LED glow, the RF glow stick handles. I could probably hang them downwards and also print them all at once. Whoa. I need put some protection down there. Oh. old printer build plan. Where's that piece of cardboard? Definitely seems more viscous and more opaque than when I started using it yesterday.
That's to be expected, right?
Alright.
Hey, do you guys watch Crunchyroll on your Apple TV?
I have in the past.
Not regularly.
Not regularly, no. I use iPad. Is it totally broken?
Been hanging a lot recently. It'll be like 30 seconds, but it works
Oh,
fine from the browser. So I don't know
okay.
if
Yeah,
my Apple TV is about to die.
I know Crunchyroll had the DDoS patch like a week ago. But I think
Yeah, I was reading about that on the 31st, right?
yeah. Um, have you tried AirPlay from iPhone or something like that?
Yeah, it's weird. It when I AirPlay it from an iPad or an iPhone, it does the same thing. But when I AirPlay it from my desktop, it works fine.
Uh, AirPlay from desktop is probably just enduring. Um,
Okay.
so it's probably a server. I mean, it might be a. I think they're using different streams for like their web browser versus their mobile
Yeah, that's the only
devices.
thing I can think of. Because I usually use Chrome, which is Flash, so it might be streaming. Might not be HTTPS streaming.
Ooh. That's it.
Oh, this is pretty adhered onto this build plate.
Okay, then. Fine,
Well,
is that the invisible hollow or not?
this is solid.
Okay.
I haven't yet. Hollowing requires a couple of different extra tools. There we go.
So do you end up having to chuck the rest of that alcohol?
No, I mean it's in this box because I can save it and keep using it. Except that you missed the part where this box has a leak, so it's not completely airtight.
Because it
Not
looks
sure
like
what I'm gonna do about that.
it looks like there's still some slight resin residue when you pull it out there.
Oh yeah, I mean it'll get yellow and yellower. Eventually, I'll have to. I mean, the alcohol will evaporate. Gosh, the build point there. Eventually, the resin will evaporate, or the alcohol will evaporate, or there'll be too much resin in there. But this is still pretty effective.
Close up with the calipers.
So I would not, in a filament printer, be able to print anything this way. So you'll notice that it's tilted, right, on the base. The base was against the bed, and this thing was tilted upwards. And I should just be able to break these off now. So there's supports. This support here is probably unnecessary, but I just stuck with auto-generated. I can break off the supports.
Nice.
And then some parts fused that weren't intended to. In the original model, only this corner, one layer in this corner, was touching the base. That's the only part. But the base has clearly adhered to other parts. And what's happened here is there must have been light leakage because the bottom is not flat. The bottom is really bumpy. So it's possible that light went through the base and then cured some extra resin down there.
Makes sense.
There's an overhang here also, you'll see, right? Because there's an overhang here to test the overhang. The top surface of that overhang is also bumpy.
Another company you're having your exposure time higher than you need to.
What?
And that might come from your exposure time being higher than it needs to be.
Yeah, man, I probably didn't need to do the supports and the diagonal at all. I probably with just the I did a full minute on the bottom. That might have been enough to make it adhere, or maybe just put a small skirt around it and still have it be against the build plate. That then at least would make the bottom flat. The sides are pretty flat. I can see slight striations because I'm going at 0.1 millimeter layers, which is considered fairly fine by filament printer standards, but it's coarse by SLA printer standards. Although all this bumpiness means that finding a good surface to measure it might be tricky.
Alright, I gotta go to sleep. It's almost midnight here.
Alright, later.
Later.
Okay. I'm going to measure this. This should be 5 millimeters. This bottom layer is a little over. Or these are sides actually. Some of them are pretty on target. 4.92, 4.98. This one's exactly 5 on the dot. These bottom layers are, of course, all too thick, so I can't really measure them. But I should be able to measure against the sides. So this guy should be about 5, and then 10. Oh, this one's low. This is 9.78, 15. Well, this is only 14.5. 5, 10, 15, 20. There should be 20, and this is only 19.5. And then 25 from top to bottom. That's 25.6. So at some point, lost half a millimeter along the way on one of these steps in one dimension. And then the other dimension I can measure. This is 4.94, which is pretty good. 9.8. So lost about 1/10 of a millimeter. 14.65. This one's going to be tricky to measure. Well, this is a little... Oh, I've lost a lot. That's 20. This is only 19.4. Lost half a millimeter there. Oh, and then this layer got thicker somehow. I'm at 24.7. The steps are not perfectly flat. See, this came up this way, right? But considering that this was at a 10-degree off angle, this is pretty good. I mean, I could never print anything at a 10-degree off angle with the filament printer. That would be impossible. Though for this piece, it probably wasn't necessary. The finish is pretty good. It's like pretty smooth, except for the bottom, which was all bumpy. So I guess when doing the tilting thing, light leakage is a big issue. The light leaks around the supports and stuff on the Z-axis, makes the bottom bumpy. Although the top isn't bumpy. Not sure what happened there. Okay. Almost done. Time to finish cleaning up.
That's pretty cool. I think we have to go to bed too.
Okay.
Bye, James.
Later. Alright, cleanup time. Yeah, there was definitely some lubrication in this ball that now that it's been immersed in alcohol is no longer present. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do about the lubrication of that. In the meantime, I'll put this back. Rough level it. I have to remember that this is not fully level, so I'll leave it kind of loose. Alright. Not dripping any more resin, so I can ditch that. The vat's clean. And dry it off the vat with the microfiber towel. And I'll slide this back in here loosely. That's off. The side panel back on. And then put diamond back on. And that is it. Start to finish. Setup and cleanup. Very, very involved. And that is all the printing for today.